let's talk about color. So right here we have your classic elementary school red, yellow, and blue, or specifically these are the quote-unquote printer colors, which are cyan, yellow, and magenta. Um, and of course you know that if you mix red and yellow you get orange, if you mix blue and yellow you get green, if you mix blue and red you get purple, something like this. So your general color wheel, you might also know that these two colors are supposed to be complementary if they're across from each other. So complementary is supposed to be good, right? If you put yeah, purple and yellow together, they're supposed to make both colors pop out. But sometimes when you're choosing colors, you don't want both colors to pop out. So some other things to think about is different, and not just the different colors that happen, but what happens if you add white, black, and gray to a specific color. So these colors you can see are very strong, but let's say if we add a little bit of white to these colors. So adding white makes the color lighter and also remove some of what you can call the saturation of the color, the intensity of the color, right? What happens if you add black to a color? So let's put it in here, in the middle. So if you add black to a color, it also removes some of the intensity by making it darker, right? You have a darker color. Now, you can also add gray to a color, which kind of removes the, it just removes some of the color outright. You can see what happens when you add gray to any one of these colors. Okay. So, when you're choosing colors, don't just think about red, yellow, and blue, and the complementary colors, the primary and the secondary colors. But you should also think about saturation of colors and what happens when you add white or black or gray to it. So, give you an example right here. This is the Photoshop color picker, and on this side you see you can pick by the color itself, the hue. You can pick by the color. And then when, let's say we have okay, let's just stick with red. So this is red. Let's say we picked red. So if you look right here, see what happens to that color when I add white to it. And this is what happens to the red when I add just pure black to it. And what happens if I just, if I add gray to it? This is when I go diagonal across like that. Oh. So there's colors usually portrayed in many dimensions as a result. So for example, if you want to find a fleshy color, you're not gonna be able to find it just by being up here. But if you say go to orange, okay, so I have orange right here. If you go down here, you get brown. If you go up here, you get a fleshy color, all from orange. The other thing to be aware of when you're doing colors is that sometimes is what colors you put next to it. So for example, this is a very classic illusion, optical illusion, where this color looks different from this color just because of what is around it in the context of the color. But if you actually color it in like so, you can see that they're actually the same color, even though they look different because they're next to different things. So you can't just pick colors objectively, you also need to think about what it is next to.